We as a society need to talk about kelp more. Start off, like, they're not plants. They look like plants, they photosynthesize like plants. Like, they're not plants. They're a type of algae. And when most people think of algae, they think of that gross, slimy stuff that grows on, like, rocks and in your fish tank. But no, this is also an algae. And algae are, like all types of algae, are not plants. They're in the kingdom Protista, which is protists, which is a weird kingdom themselves. It's basically just, well, it's not a bacteria, it's not a plant, it's not a fungus, so I guess we'll stick them in there. So, like, seaweeds and algae and all of that, they are not plants. They're their own thing. They're algae, but even within algae, they're super weird. They also have these little ball bulb things called nematocysts, which are filled with gas, so they're also called gas bladders, and depending on the species, it can have, like, oxygen or carbon dioxide or whatever the fuck you want in there. And these function basically to pull the kelp up towards the surface where there's more access to sunlight so they can photosynthesize more. And speaking of photosynthesis, these are some of the top producers of oxygen. Like, according to Google, kelp and other protists produce like 70% of the world's oxygen, so that is a lot. They're also massive, massive carbon sinks, which is good because they sequester the carbon which they used in photosynthesis to produce more biomass, so it takes the carbon dioxide out of the ocean, use it to grow more kelp. And another function of getting rid of all the problem CO2 is that it helps regulate the pH of the ocean, because CO2 causes the pH to get all wonky, so by the kelp using it and removing it from the water, it helps control the pH of the ocean. Kelp can also grow, like, stupidly fast. Some species can put on, like, almost 2 feet of length in a single day, which is absolutely bonkers. They can also make up these absolutely massive kelp forests, which are some of the most biodiverse, like, ecosystems in the entire ocean. Like, people are always going on, like, coral reefs and all that. They're super biodiverse, there's so many cool animals there, but kelp forests are also very, very biodiverse, and they're an incredibly important ecosystem to many fish species and, like, invertebrates like crabs and snails, as well as marine mammals like seals and dolphins. All that, they rely heavily on kelp forests. It's also edible. You can eat it, and it has a lot of health benefits. Like, I personally don't like kelp or seaweed. I think it tastes not great, but you can eat it, and it's good for you. So, basically, people should appreciate kelp more because it's really, really cool.